So you've been looking for how to make beats in Reaper. Reaper is very versatile. I don't think there is a feature that it's missing, actually. I have never found one, and even if I found one, I've come up with a solution from the Reaper community. So eventually, I've always had a solution for my problem. Reaper isn't the easiest software to start making beats with. That's why I've prepared a Reaper beat making template, so you can just open it and start creating. Let's get to work. I assume you've already downloaded Reaper and you have it installed on your computer. Now download the beat making template from the description, and as you download it, you have 4 files in here. First, you need to get the Reaper beat config imported into your software. This is the file with all the configuration I've prepared for you. And now you can drag and drop it right into Reaper. And now you will be asked to restart Reaper. That's what we do. Here you will see import configuration window. You just click import. And right now you are welcomed with Reaper, ready to make beats with. How cool is that? Before you start using the template, you have to install a few plugins that I've provided in the description. They are free to use, so you don't have to pay anything. So let's start from the general overview of what's happening here. From the top, here is pre-master. Pre-master is just a master track before your real master track. I've used it to insert some equalizers so you can make some cool transitions on your master track. It's also really helpful when it comes to dialing the correct amount of volume of gain before it hits the real master track. The delay in this project is based on Baby Comeback VST plugin from Baby Audio. Next is the reverb bus, which is based on the TAL Reverb 4, which is also free to use. Here we have some independent samplers with Resamplomatic 5000, so you can drop your samples in here and use them in your project. Down below we have a drum bus, which is based on the Citala. It's a really well-known plugin, especially across the Reaper community. Here you have the instruments bus, which has empty instrument track. You can load up your instruments here. And the last one is the bass bus, which contains the 808 track, which has the 808 sample loaded in. At the very bottom of the project, you have the mixer with every single track that is contained within the project. You can always close it with this little X right here. You can bring it back by pressing View and pressing Mixer, or just simply Ctrl+M. On the left, you have the media browser. This is really similar to FL Studio, where you have all your samples. Just click My Computer and find the directory with your samples. So for example, here I have some hi-hats, and you can instantly hear them. You can drag the sample directly into the session if you like, or you can drag them into individual samplers. So that's all you need to know from the technical point of view. And right now I'm going to make a really simple beat with you to show you all the features you can use in this template. Let's start from the drum bus. Here in the drum bus, you've already can see a MIDI item. I will make this bigger for you. Here is a drum MIDI item that I've got for you. And the loop right here that we have selected with this gray thing is 8 bars. So it's a typical length of a loop. You can always make it longer if you like, for example, 16 bars, and then make the loop 16 bars. But let's stick with 8 bars for now. If you want to edit this MIDI item, just click on it 2 times. And here is the Reaper's MIDI editor. As you can see, here we already have a few names, and as we click on those keys, you can hear the samples playing. And the plugin responsible for playing those samples is Citala, with 16 pads that you can map with certain samples from your library and play them through the plugin. Here you've got some options for your sample if you'd like to change its shape, tuning, volume, compression, tone, or pan. By default, it has samples from Roland TR-808, which sound like that. Those samples are already sent to certain reverb buses in the project, so you can delete those sends, you can tweak them according to your taste, you can change the reverbs themselves, you can do whatever you want. Okay, first make sure the metronome is turned on. By default, it's turned on. Here you can set the tempo. Let's set it to 140 BPM. Or you can tap it by tapping this button right here. Okay, the metronome works perfectly. And you can play this item same as you would do in FL Studio's piano roll. And we can insert kicks as an example by clicking the grid 2 times. So let's insert some kicks. And you can insert some snares if you'd like. All right, and the rest of the kick pattern. And let's copy this to the second part. Control C, Control V, and here we go. And let's add one more snare here. Perfect. As we already have the snare and the kick, let's add some hi-hats. So I'm just clicking and I'm drawing the notes right here. Perfect. And now copy and paste. And we've got a really simple drum pattern. Okay, right now I would like to hear this pattern, but in a loop. So I go to the transport bar right here, and here is the toggle repeat button. You can also turn it on with hitting R on the keyboard. And as we approach the end of a section that is marked with this gray thing right here, it will start automatically from the beginning. Okay, let's change the volume of the hi-hat because it's a little too loud. Here is the hi-hat. Okay, that's pretty nice. Let's make the kick harder, for example. I'm not going to make it louder, but I'm going to make it harder. And I'm going to change the compression here. All right. Maybe change the tuning a little lower. Nice. Now let's say you want to get a MIDI controller. Here is my MIDI controller, which is Machine Mark III, but it's in the MIDI mode, so it acts like a regular MIDI controller, like Akai MPD or any other MIDI controller you can imagine, even with the keys, no matter what you have. And to make it work, you need to go to Options. You need to go down here to Preferences. In Preferences, you go to MIDI devices under Audio. And here is my MIDI controller, which is Machine Mark III Control MIDI. And you need to make it enabled. You need to click Enable Input. I've already did it, but if you have, as an example, Akai MPD 218, it will appear right here. It will be disabled by default, and you need to make it enabled like this. And here it's enabled, but I'm not going to keep it enabled. So what can we do with the controller? We can play a drum pattern and it will get recorded into the software. But let's say we've already written a pattern. We've got this simple pattern right here. And we want to add some things. First of all, you need to click Record Arm button on this Sitala VST. And right now, when I hit the controller, I can play the drums right here. Sorry, it's blinking because of the shutter speed on my phone. So now, as an example, I want to insert this cowbell sound somewhere in the pattern. I want to record it with my hands. So you go to Transport, you hit Record. Now we wait 2 bars of the metronome. And we can record the pattern. And bang, here it is. We've got it recorded. Now, as we open our MIDI item with the drums, we've got those extra MIDI notes that we've just recorded. As you can see, as we get really, really close, they aren't perfectly aligned. That's because they aren't quantized. So if you want to quantize those notes, you can select them with the right button of your mouse. You hit Q on your keyboard, or you can go to View, Quantize. And right now, those notes will be quantized exactly to the note resolution you have right here. In this case, 16th notes. And they are right on the grid. Let's call it a day as it comes to the drum pattern. I hope you will come up with something way better than this, but it's only for the demonstration purposes. Unfortunately, Reaper by itself doesn't have any VST instruments except one really simple synthesizer, which I wouldn't really recommend using. So here you have two ways. Either you find a free VST instrument you like on the internet, just type in free VST instruments and you will get lots of free instruments. Or you can go with the cheapest solution I will always recommend for starting out making beats, which is Xpand 2 from Air Music Technology. So here I open FX right here. I search for Xpand. I open it by clicking it 2 times. And here is the plugin. The plugin, at least at the day I'm recording it, costs $10, $10 US. So it should be super cheap anywhere in the world. If you want to get this plugin, you can use my affiliate link from the description. Okay, so we have the plugin opened. There's a default sound loaded. Let's close it. Right now, I want to insert a new MIDI item for the instrument right now, because there is nothing in here right now, and I've clicked too many times. So to insert a MIDI item, you click on the track in the first place, and then you go to Insert at the very top, and you insert new MIDI item. And here is a brand new MIDI item. You click it 2 times, and you have your MIDI editor with the keyboard. And as you can hear, you can play with this keyboard and insert the sounds. Let's pick a different sound, maybe not this paddy kind of thing. Maybe let's open bells. Let's pick a bell, tiny octabell. This is the one I really like. Let's get back to the MIDI item. And the Christmas is coming, so it's a really good sound for this part of the year. And now as I start playing the pattern, I can start writing the melody. And right now, writing a melody should be easy for anyone who knows music theory, but if you don't really like it, you just go down here, you turn on key snap feature right here. Here you select a root note and a scale you want to be in. So in my case, I want to be in natural minor scale, and I will stay with the C as my root note. And right now, as I move the notes here, they always gonna stay on the C natural minor scale. And that's my bell. We can name this track Bell for this purpose. Let's insert another instrument. So I'm going to use the same plugin, and in this case, let's use a pad. I don't know, huge pads. Let's pick something random. Orchestral creation sounds pretty good. So I click the track, I go to Insert, New MIDI item, and here it is. Nice. And let's make a chord. So here is my chord. And now as I change the note height, the pitch of this chord is going to be aligned with the C natural minor scale. And right now I would like to insert another chord right here. And what I can do is to select the chord and hit S on the keyboard, and it's going to slice the notes. And here I can just use it as another chord. So it sounds like that. And right now I'm going to copy it so it's the same in the second part. Okay, let's make those pads, this orchestral thing, quieter. You can use either this knob or you can go to the mixer and make it quieter right here. As you try to change the volume here, as you can see, you are making very big adjustments. So a really small move is changing it a few decibels. You can always click it 2 times to get it back to the neutral position, to 0. But as you hold the control key, you can make very precise movements with the same amount of movement with your mouse. So it's really, really useful when you are changing volume, where you are mixing. So let's make it quieter. Okay, right now I would add more instruments and stuff, but let's move to the bass bus with the 808 we've got here. So same stuff. We add a new MIDI item, insert new MIDI item. Here is the item for the 808. The 808 here is already prepared by me with this default 808 sample. You can use any sample you like. You just drag and drop a sample, for example, from this library here. Drag and drop it right here, and you've got a different sample. The only thing you have to do is to detect pitch, which is going to change the settings inside this sampler, so it's always in tune. So let's stay with this sample. Right now you can write the 808 on your own, but what I like to do is to go to the drum pattern at the top. Now I'm selecting all the kicks and copying them with Ctrl+C. I'm getting back to the 808 MIDI item. I'm hitting Ctrl+V. I make sure the play marker is at the beginning, so I click here and Ctrl+V, and here we go. We've got those really, really short 808s. You can also do it with some tricks, but I'm not going to show you everything right now since it would be way too complicated. So you just have to take a little bit of your time and make those longer. All right. I would change this right here. Let's cut it in here. All right, a really simple 808 pattern. Let's say we would like to add some 808 slides in here. So the 808 does this crazy sliding effect. For this purpose, you go to plugins on the 808 track, and in Resamplomatic, you change the portamento value in milliseconds, the usual portamento parameter you would find in any other DAW. And let's make it, I don't know, 40, 50. And now as I open the MIDI item with the 808, and now when I insert another MIDI note above some other MIDI note, let's make it C2. All right, let's play it. And you have this slide. It's pretty slow. We can always make it faster by changing the portamento value. That's just for the demonstration, so I'm not going to use it in this case, but you have to know where it is. Here you also have the tuner for your 808. So for example, if you are playing the 808 and you want to know which sound it is, you will get this information right away. It's just like an add-on, so you don't have to use it. Maybe let's move the Citala VST track right here, so it's with all of those other tracks. And this is our beat. Yeah, this is our hit song. Let's try to arrange it. So right now I'm going to select everything we have here, hit Ctrl+C, click here, Ctrl+V, 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 and right now I've just copied those items. We can exit the loop right now because we aren't making the loop anymore. Right now we are arranging the thing. So let's delete the drums from the first part. Let's delete the bells. Let's delete the 808. Let's start with just the pads alone. Maybe now let's bring back the bells. So Ctrl C on the bells, Control paste here, and let's make them shorter. I'm going to the edge right here, and I can make it shorter. So when it hits the second part of the orchestral pattern, we've got the bells. All right, that's a pretty nice opening. Let's not start so sudden. So maybe let's start with the 808 first. Okay, let's open the sequence with a crash cymbal. And for this purpose, we can go to the Media Explorer. Let's get to cymbals, in my case, crash cymbals, and this one. All right, not the best one I've heard. None of those are actually good, but let's use the first one. For inserting a sample in here, I need to make another track. So I'm clicking with the right button of the mouse here, or here, or anywhere here, basically on the left where the tracks are, and insert new track, or Control+T. Here is our track. Let's put it, I don't know, maybe under the drum bus. Here it is. Let's name it Cymbal. And now I can drag and drop the cymbal right here. It's really loud, so let's make it quieter. All right. I think this cymbal needs some reverb, so now we are going to use the reverb sends that I've created above this session. Here they are. And we are also going to use the delay sends. So first of all, let's take the route button from here. I'm holding it. Right now, as you can see, the cursor has this plug icon. I'm going to get higher and put this plug into, for example, the big and airy reverb. And right now I have the control of how much reverb I have here. As you could hear, it's really, really huge and really, really bright. All right. And the same goes for the delay. I'm taking the route. I'm going higher, higher, higher. And let's use the quarter note delay here. So, bang, here it goes. And now it sounds much better than before. And what you can also do with those delay and reverb sends, you can use them however you like. If you'd like to send the snare, as an example, to a dark plate reverb we have here, you can always do it. Just take the route, drag and drop it under over the plate reverb, dark plate reverb, and here it goes. You can hear the reverb. You can do it for any source, for any track in your session. Okay, but what about those samplers, independent samplers right here? They do contain Resamplomatic 5000, the basic Reaper's sampler, and you can drag the cymbal over here into the sampler, and you will have much more control over it. Why? Because this sampler has a lot of options. For example, you can change the mode of the sampler to note semitone shifted. And right now, as I insert the MIDI item on our track, let's turn off the key snap first, I can change the height of the sample. So you can play with the sample however you like. You can also insert some melodic samples, like one-shots from your guitar, from any instrument you find or you've recorded at home, and you can play with it. But if you don't need such a feature, you can always drag and drop a cymbal sample, in this case, into the session, and it will work fine. And now I'm going to show you how to record a melody with your MIDI controller. inside this session. Let's select this part, for example, as we are already arranging. Let's get back to the loop mode here. And let's insert Xpand 2 on this track, our third instrument. And let's pick soft leads, for example, chime lead. Let's hear it. In order to hear it, we need to click record arm here. And right now I'm able to play this with my MIDI controller. Okay, here we are at the MIDI controller. As you can hear, it works perfectly. Let's change the octave. Let's change the sound to some other lead. I don't know, Marvin. Sounds pretty nice. Let's hit record or Ctrl+R on the keyboard. I'm really sorry for your ears because of this ending, but I did this on purpose. Here you are being asked if you want to save this MIDI file or audio file that you've just recorded. You can save this prompt, like if you want to be prompted every time you stop recording something, you can leave this window like it is and press save all, or you can click this on stop and you won't be prompted anymore. Here we've got this really, really bad sounding ending, but here, as we click the top layer, we've got this nice layer with the correct melody. So why this happened? Because we've got this loop right here. As we finished the loop, it started recording from the beginning. And as we've got only one track, the default behavior in Reaper tells it to record another layer of the track. It's really useful when you are trying to come up with an idea. You are recording, you are playing your MIDI keyboard or MIDI controller in my case, and you've got this crazy idea that you've just recorded and it's somewhere on one of those layers. So you don't have to worry you've missed it. You can always record it. You can have as many layers as you like, 20 layers, 50 layers. You just got to see everything on your screen. So sometimes you have to make this track really, really tall to see everything. Okay, so in this case, I want to stay with the top layer. I can do it like that. And in order to get rid of this thing down here, you click the right button of your mouse here, and you glue items. Here we go. And right now, let's add some reverb to our pattern. Let's take the route from here, and let's drop it on the dark plate, or maybe on the super huge reverb. Let's make it lower. Now let's get to the top and let's use this EQ as the pre-master bus, so you can do some intros, you can do some intro filtering, for example, right here at the very beginning. So here on this pre-master track, I've inserted ReaEQ, which is the simplest equalizer you can find in Reaper, but really, really powerful. In this case, it's got the low-pass filter and the high-pass filter, which we can manipulate by changing those automations. And let's make this bigger so you can see everything. Let's play our instrumental. And let's say I want to make an opening with the filter, with the low pass filter. So in this case, I want to start like that. That's really nice. And I want it to gradually open the filter for the first like 4 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And right now I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to click here. and this adds a point on the grid. And right now I'm moving this point to the top. So it's going to sound like that. That's really nice. Let's say I would also like to use the high pass filter so we don't have as much bass. So let's do it like that. And right now, just have a look what's happening here. This is how we start. And this is what happens when we use the automation. You can automate anything in Reaper, any parameter of any VST plugin. This is how you do it with ReaEQ. If you'd like to find some more parameters on the plugins on a certain track, you need to press trim on this track, and you will get a full list of all the parameters that you can change. For example, I want to change the gain of the low shelf filter in this case. I just press right here and I have this gain right here, and I can change it, I can manipulate it, I can write automations for it. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I hope this video helped you to start making beats in Reaper or improve your beat making in Reaper, and that I've at least showed you that it's absolutely possible to make beats in Reaper. It's actually pretty easy, but not as easy as you would do in FL Studio, which is much more straightforward when it comes to starting making beats, and there is loads of tutorials on the internet, which is not the case with Reaper. I've made a few other videos about making beats in Reaper, quite some videos actually, including the biggest one I've got, which has over 100k on YouTube, but this is like the updated version. This is a shorter version without a lot of technical blubber, and this video hopefully doesn't have 40 minutes. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you in my other videos, and keep the good vibes alive.